So self-care is really big, and I call it health and wellness too. It's very important for a lot of these ladies to really begin to recover and restore their lives by taking care of themselves. Now tell me, how did you get into self-care? Why is this so important to you?
Wow, it's a really long story, but it probably started when I was a teenager, you know, going through with hormones, and I have a tendency to be anxious and get overwhelmed, and so looking back, I realized that as a teenager I would exercise, I'd run, and I would journal, and that really helped me. And then as...
Did somebody teach you to do that, or you just automatically just felt right to do?
It just felt right to do. I was always really physically active, and then the journaling, I don't know, you know, back in the, I won't say how long it's been, but, you know, keeping a diary as a little, you know, as a young girl.
Diary, so, that's what they called it.
Yeah, you call it keeping a diary, and then turn it into journaling. And then in 2003, when I got married to my forever husband, we had a really tough 10-year period where we went through 4 miscarriages, we went through infertility treatments, we ended up adopting 2 beautiful girls. They're 18 months and 4 at the time when we adopted them.
Wow.
I was 45 and a half, so you're kind of, I had no parenting experience, so I had no, I
just
didn't,
all at one time.
It was what God brought, right?
Did you hear that?
two toddlers.
Wow, 18 months
and almost 4.
Almost 4, wow.
And then a year after that, my mom died really unexpectedly, leaving my 80-something-year-old dad 3,000 miles away. So not only was I, you know, a new mom, I was a massage therapist with my own private practice. Now I was a daughter of an aging parent.
And being a new mom with children that, you know, was already, you know, older, so you having to connect, this is a new home for them. I can only imagine the anxiety, so it increased your anxiety level, the stress, did it increase with all that?
Oh my gosh, there was, so really a turning point was 6 months after we adopted the girls. It was in July, and the girls and I were having breakfast, and I don't know, one of them said something, and I just started to cry, and I said, I'm going to go outside for a mommy moment. So I just went out the back door, and I sat there, and I started to cry, and my 2-year-old came out, and you know, she looked at me with her big brown eyes, and then she got her sister, and then there's these 4 big brown eyes looking at me, and then she said, you know, Mommy's sad. Mommy's sad. So of course I cried harder, like I just, you know, realized, you know.
It was your breakdown, you was breaking down.
So I ended up going to the doctor. That afternoon my husband came home, and you know, he gave me a prescription, and he said, this is going to help, but what changes are you going to make? And so I looked at him, I'm like, what? What do you mean what changes I'm going to make? You just gave me this prescription for this pill's going to make it all better,
that's the
right?
Miracle. That's the
miracle, yeah. And so when he said that, it really got me thinking about all the things that I could do for myself. So he kind of gave me some control back, like he empowered me. It was like handing me a little magic wand. So I did have some control.
What are you gonna do?
What am I going to do?
Wow.
So then it's looking at what do I like doing? What kind of time do I have? Financial, like, you know, I can't afford a personal trainer coming to the house or whatever. So looking at all those different things.
Now you say you was a therapist, you was a massage therapist, so you knew about the body.
Absolutely.
You knew about the stress points. Did you feel any of that as you were going through, or was you just numbing it? Because sometimes as mothers, we do numb certain things, you know, when the pressure hits, because we're mothers, so we take it all in, and we're supposed to hold it all in.
Right.
We think. But no, that's not how it works.
I think what we set up is we create a new normal for ourselves. We feel like I was tired. I was apathetic. I disengaged, and you know, my husband and I have very different parenting styles, and so I would let him take over, and I would kind of disappear, and so that was hard for him.
Holding your voice and all that.
Yes. And I'd been diagnosed with moderate to severe osteoarthritis in both knees when I was a couple years before that. So then carrying my...
You weren't chasing around the kids.
Right, my knees were all swollen, and so I suffered with that, and I had back surgery in my mid-20s. And so there were a lot of health issues, and then emotional. I've been diagnosed with a mild anxiety disorder. So knowing
45
that...
years old. I was 45 at the time.
I was all 45, yeah.
Okay. You told the age, and I mean, you did say that
That's
earlier.
okay. I'm 55. I'm 55. I own it.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was experiencing, physical, mental, emotional. I'd cry. I wasn't sleeping. I would, I was emotionally needy, and I just really wasn't happy, and I wasn't connecting with my girls. And my girls, they had a first life. They didn't have a very good first life at all. So there was domestic violence and abuse, emotional and physical.
Were they in the same home? Were they
Yes, they are sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. They're mine. And so the older one, of course, remembered and then didn't understand, well, why did my mom give me away?
Wow.
And so then,
At 18 months?
At 4 years.
At 4 years old. Okay.
So she came with an attitude, and she'd already,
Right.
been beaten down, and who's this woman I'm supposed to call my mom,
controlling me and dictating what I
was
do, and
really,
I want my mom. And that's rejection too, because even with S's Virtue, and I'm gonna let you finish, but when we deal with kind of the foster care, bringing unification with the mom, we have to work on that. In my parenting skill class, it's like, how do you take your time and come back, because they felt rejected, they felt disowned, they're mad, they're angry, the kids are. So thank God that you were there to love and to embrace, but a lot of these kids have to go back to that rejected home, that abuse situation, and they don't know if it's changed or not, because of course, you have recovery programs, which I thank God for, and people that's reaching out, but if the mommy never changes and the foster child or their child come back to the home, they return back, to the home with that, so you got a lot of heat from this precious girl, but it gets even worse when they return back to not a loving situation. Right. But I'm gonna let you get back to that.
No, so it really, like the first year we did not go out for dinner because the behavior was so unpredictable. Our oldest would have just tantrums, like drop on the floor, screaming tantrums, and understandably so, but we we had dinner at this time, we did bath time at this time, we had a really set schedule. We had a really because they never had one. They would sleep, we would hear their bed was the couch, and they'd sleep together on the couch, and they were exposed to a lot of things from what I understand. So it was really hard, and then not ever having kids before, I was grieving the loss of my freedom and my life, and so dealing with my own stuff. So my own, and trying to make peace and like myself, and then, looking at these beautiful young girls, these little girls, and it's like, how am I going to love you? I don't even know if I like you. You're being mean to me. You're telling me I like my birth mother better because her knees are a lot better than yours are.
Wow.
And
so those words.
I hate you. I want my birth. I mean, there's so many things. So we
deal with that as adults. Words and so were you depressed at this point? Did you feel, because as you're talking, I hear the downward, emotion that you're getting hit. So were you depressed at all?
Yes. Yeah, I would say I had was mild
Did you know you was depressed at the time before going to the doctor, before getting that pill, that magic pill? Did you ever say to yourself, I'm really depressed, or did you feel like I'm just off? I mean, because how do you clarify depression, oppression,
Well, it's really taking a moment, which we don't when we're that busy, and becoming more self-aware, and it's like, am I crying more often than usual? Am I yelling more often? Have my eating habits changed? Am I eating more, or am I eating less? Am I maybe smoking more, or, instead of a glass of wine, having a bottle of wine? So looking at your behaviors, am I going for my walks? Am I talking to my girlfriends? Am I canceling all my social things and kind of going in my cave? So becoming aware of that, and I do have, actually I have a stress quiz, and I also have like signs and symptoms. Yes, the signs and symptoms are in, and so it's really becoming aware of what's going on in your world, and then realizing, oh my gosh, there's an issue, I'm in trouble, and then being able to admit that. I remember one morning laying in bed and just wondering what it'd be like if I wasn't there anymore. I was so tired, and here I've got a wonderful husband and great family and friends and kids. Yeah, absolutely. And here I am thinking about not being here anymore. Like that, that would scare me. Like I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. And and on the outside looking in, people I don't think would ever guess that. When they look at my Facebook page and all my stuff, but that stuff's real. I mean,
but you're here now, and you're here to share not only your story. I love your openness about this because people need to hear this, you know, and connect because there's somebody right now at home having those thoughts. They're challenged. So Simple Self-Care. This is her book, you all. She have it says superpowers included.
So I have my T-shirt.
So
My
tell me
superpower,
about
Simple
that.
Self-Care.
Someone I was interviewing about a week ago. They said they have superpowers. Tell me about your superpowers. What is this?
So when I wrote the book, and working with my good friend, my marketing person, you know, we came up with Sophie Self-Care because it sounds like simple self-care.
Right.
And so then we decided to put her in a Supergirl outfit, and you know, like we all have superpowers, and our superpower is simple self-care. Now, what is simple self-care?
Okay.
Well, first of all, let's go back to self-care. So self-care is any intentional action you take to take care of your emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental health.
Your intentional action.
To take
Your
care
action.
of yourself. Yes.
Yes.
So
Not nobody else's. This is nobody else is responsible for self-care
Right.
but you.
It's
Personally.
owning it and feeling I am worth it.
To take care of myself.
Absolutely, because
To
if my
take a
cup's
moment.
empty, how can I look after my kids? How can I look after a business? How can I do anything if
Uh-uh.
my cup is completely empty?
It just don't feel right.
And so then what I did was I took that self-care one step further and turned it into simple. So simple means any intentional self-care action that is not complex,
Okay.
not rocket science, and it slides into your day.
So not rocket science.
Not right.
People make it too complicated, you think sometimes?
Oh my gosh.
Too complicated.
Oh yeah.
To take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Sleep.
Yeah,
Eating right.
getting out of bed the right way. Like who knew, right?
What, like the one arm, like what you mean, like physically getting out?
So first of all, what
Okay.
I like to do before I get out of bed is I just take a moment, I pull my knees up to my chest, okay, and I call it giving myself a hug.
Okay.
So who doesn't
Did you
love
learn
to
that because you're a physical therapist? Did
or
you
massage therapist? No.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's just one of the
It just felt
classes.
good.
It just
Okay.
felt good. Just one of the things that I did
You
because
hug
I
yourself with a
have back
stretch.
problems. So
Okay.
so this way, when you hug your knees to your chest, that you're actually kind of stretching your lower back muscles a little bit and kind of waking your, you know, you've been laying there, hopefully not tossing and turning, and been laying there for at least 7 to 8 hours,
Right.
right?
Right.
So you can't just jump out of bed.
Right.
So start with the hug.
Right.
And then to get out of bed the right way is actually turning over on your side and then pushing yourself up.
Push yourself up.
So that way you're not getting up like that because then you're straining your neck muscles and back muscles. Now, you do it 1 or 2 or 100 times, it may not bother you. But you do that 1,000
Yeah.
and then another 1,000 and then another 1,000, you're straining your neck and your lower back. So it's eventually going to affect your health. So taking that one moment just to ease that lower back pain. And then you've already done your self-care as you're getting out of bed.
I love it. Taking time to get up out of the bed. Now sometimes we just jump up,
Right.
and just, and then all day you feeling that ache, you feeling that pain. So just really paying attention to your body.
So let me ask you this: if you had a rock in your shoe and you were walking and it hurt, would you stop and take that rock out of your shoe?
Yes.
So why not, if you have a lower back ache or something's hurting, why not take a moment and just do a little stretch
Stretch it out.
to help ease that?
Because people, we're going to have to do a video with some stretchers or something. You're
Oh,
gonna have to
absolutely.
come back and, teach us how to, stretch and take care of ourselves. I love it. Simple self-care saved me. So there is so much that we can talk about. Is there anything that's on your heart or your mind that you'd like to share with the audience about why we should be taking care of ourselves more? I mean, times have changed. I mean, we eat differently now. Everything is like speedy. We're just on the move. I just learned within a year ago how to really do more self-care with a lot of things that I have going on, because when you're a mother, you just don't think about it. But now I'm getting older, and now I feel like I have to do it because I'd be burnt out, or I just be frustrated. Like, for me, it's like reading. For me, it's spiritual. For me, it's sometimes just taking time to listen to music, soak in music, being in a peaceful spot by myself.
That is
you know?
all simple self-care, and it's not hard. It's not hard to do it. And if you can't take 5 minutes for yourself a day, at least 5 minutes, and you know what? You better call me. We need to have a talk.
Yeah. Okay, tell the audience how they can reach you and how they can contact with you if they need some self-care.
Well, my website is simpleselfcare.net, all one word, simpleselfcare.net. There's a contact form on there. Just you can get on my mailing list. You can shoot me an email. I'm very user-friendly. And so what I do want to share is self-care works, and I'll tell you why. I walk the walk and I talk the talk. So I had back surgery in my mid-20s, knee surgery. A year after my mom died, I ended up rupturing a disc in my neck, and I had to have neck surgery. So I now have 3 fused vertebrae and a titanium plate in my neck. And I'm working on my 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. Wow. So I'm still...
Awesome. You're just moving forward. You're getting stronger.
Absolutely. And sometimes, you know, you go 3 steps forward and 2 back. But there's like, okay, then I'm reassessing all the time, just like I did several years ago. So I want people to understand that you can do this, and whatever works for you. You don't have to go to Taekwondo. You don't have to do that, but you have to find what works for you. What works for you. And everybody has a story, and all our stories sound different. But we have a story, and that story makes us special, makes us who we are. And I think by sharing our stories, we make one another stronger because we can support.
I love it. I love Rita, y'all. She has so much to share. I thank you. I cannot wait for you to share more with Esther's Virtue, and I'm really serious about this. You know,
me
you
too.
getting in and
Me
you know
too.
really helping with self-care. I'm Katris Wright. Pillow Talks. Thank you so much for coming to Pillow Talks, aka Toddler. You can find me at toddlerteller.com. My book, Mom's Blueprint, we have to connect with that too, being stressful, you know, as a mom, caring for kids. But thank you so much for joining me, Rita, and we will definitely stay connected and just keep talking about the self-care. Her book, Simple Self-Care, saved me.
It's on Amazon.
Amazon, it's nice.
But thank you so much. I'm so glad that we met. I'm really excited.
Me too. God divine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining me. This is the end of our show, and we will see you soon. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you. It's awesome.